My name is Mark Spenser. I'm the Vice President of Human Resources for Revera. Revera is a leading senior services company. We've been in business for about 54 years. So I've been with the company for 4.5 years and have worked with Acclaim throughout that period. And when I joined, our relationship with Acclaim was when it's in its very early stages, and we were undergoing a pilot. And that pilot went on for a while, but eventually we proved the business case, and we've rolled out Acclaim services to all of our operations and support offices. As we were building the human resources infrastructure, we had really no consistent management of our non-occupational disabilities. So every manager was sort of left up to their own devices to manage absenteeism through disability. And of course we had an insurance company that paid benefits, but they weren't actually managing it either. And we recognized that there was a huge opportunity here, both for monetary savings in terms of benefits outlay, but also just higher productivity in terms of getting people back to work. And it was just a huge gaping hole of opportunity, and so we realized that we needed somebody to come in and help us do that. And the way we started was through a pilot project. So we invited Acclaim to make a proposal for us for a pilot. It turned into the longest pilot ever, because we ran the pilot for about 3.5 years, but eventually we expanded it to cover all of the employees, and in both our support offices and in all of our operating divisions, and it's been very successful. I think at the time what we were looking for was somebody who was effective, who could help us train our managers to understand the processes, and who was very good at managing the claims of the individuals who were off. So that was the reputation. What I've seen and what I've experienced is that Acclaim was able to put together a very solid business case in terms of what they could provide Revera in terms of operational improvements and cost savings. And so what we did was we connected Acclaim to a portion of our operating sites with the intent to use Acclaim services, measure the results, and then prove the business case out that it would be effective for the entire organization. And we found some very interesting things when we started. The biggest thing was probably change management, because you take, and we say a pilot, but we had 100 different locations that were in it, so it was a very large pilot for that, from that perspective. And the first thing we had to do was obviously train the managers in the new procedures and help them understand what Acclaim was doing, and the way to use Acclaim for the most effectiveness. And so that took a while for people to fully understand how that worked, but Acclaim was very good at rolling that out for us. And then beyond that, it became a series of a few years of just measuring the year-over-year improvements in things, right? And so what we found was a couple of different things happened. One of the things was that the raw number of actual disabilities actually went up. But of course, that wasn't because of management. That was, having a program didn't make people sicker. It just, what we believe happened was people just started reporting it more effectively, right? So there were lots of injuries or illnesses that were never reported. People were just paid through normal payroll, and so we didn't really have very good metrics on it until we had a consistent process of management. And so the raw numbers actually exploded when we introduced the program, but the average time that any individual was off went down very significantly. And so we had a strange sort of financial result for the first couple of years, because the raw numbers in terms of costs actually went up, but that was just because of the way things were reported. We were able to show year-over-year decreases in average time off for anybody who had a disability claim, and so it was clear that it was really a reporting problem, not a claims management problem, and proved the business case that it was an effective way to manage things. The program has been a big success, and we've been able to prove that with Acclaim's help, we have a number of different important outcomes. Our managers understand the principles of managing disability claims much better. We have a much more consistent process for managing them across the board, and our actual absenteeism costs have been significantly reduced. So year over year, we've seen declines in the average time off for people with non-occupational disability claims. We've been working with Acclaim since 2010, so 5.5 years now, both through the development of the business case and then the pilot, and for the last almost 2 years, the full-fledged program. Without having partnered with Acclaim to manage our disability claims, we would have spent a heck of a lot more money on people being off, and we'd have had people off a lot longer, which has a whole bunch of other costs and inefficiencies built into it. So for most of our frontline staff, if they don't show up to work, we have to pay somebody else either through a temp agency or through overtime to cover their shift. So it's not just the cost that you're paying somebody for their sick day, it's also the coverage and the backup and the backfill that you have to do. So it's saved us quite a bit of money to more effectively manage claims, and so we're very much in better place. And we certainly get requests from time to time from other groups to consider their services, but we've stuck with Acclaim, and a lot of it's because of the people that we work with. I mean, they're very knowledgeable, and we get good service from them, right? And we have built a good relationship with Acclaim, and we like working with them, and we know the folks there, and they treat us well, and so that's kept us together. There has, not to my knowledge, ever been a case or a situation where we've thought that Acclaim dropped the ball in terms of managing a claim, right? So we find that the follow-up is very good, and the service is very good. The ability to actually go out to our sites and train managers in the field, really understand the business, has been very helpful, and so I can't imagine other groups doing it much better than that. Acclaim was very accommodating for our needs, I would say. So rather than us having to change to accommodate Acclaim's process, I think Acclaim built their process around our needs as much as they could. With respect to the relationship with Acclaim, what I can say is that Revera has benefited from it immensely, and we believe they're a great organization at what they do, and they've helped us, and so I would recommend their services to anybody.